Hello, and welcome to another Crack-a-Pack. Today, I am back with another Outlaws of Thunder Junction play booster. And I was thinking, since we are pretty well into this format by now, we could probably speed up the pack opening and then take some time at the end to look through a couple real-life draft decks. So let's jump right in and get started with our Pack 1 Pick 1. Starting off with Holy Cow. Reach for the Sky. Deadeye Duelist. Peerless Rope Master. Vengeful Townsfolk. Skullduggery. Outlaw Stitcher. Red Rock Sentinel. Emergent Haunting. The rare is Calamity Galloping Inferno. 4 red for a 4/6. Legendary creature, Horse Mount. With haste. Whenever Calamity Galloping Inferno attacks while saddled, choose a non-legendary creature that saddled it this turn and create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. Repeat this process once. Saddle 1. We've got a mythic from the big score. Pest Control. White, black for a sorcery. Destroy all non-land permanents with mana value 1 or less. Cycling 2. Our breaking news card is also a rare. Siphon Insight. Blue, black for an instant. Look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library. Exile one of them face down and put the other on the bottom of that library. You may play the exiled card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. Flashback 1 blue black. A foil Hardbristle Bandit. A full art forest, and an elemental token. So here is our pack, and I suppose I'm probably first looking at one of the 3 rares here. I think I'm leaning most toward Calamity. Although it's only a 4/6 for 6 mana, it is hasty and saddles for only 1, which effectively allows the saddling creature to attack anyway. So I definitely think that would be worth playing, and in a way kind of insulates your best creature by not sending it into combat, but still having a token of it attack, which you don't really care if it dies. So I think I'm pretty sold on Calamity, but as always, I want to know what you would be taking from this pack. So make sure you leave a comment and we can talk about it. So that is it for the Crack-a-Pack. But like I mentioned, I've got a couple of draft decks here from a few weeks back now that might be interesting for us to take a look at. This is something that I'm thinking about incorporating into some of these Crack-a-Packs that come later in a draft format, just to help keep things interesting and, I don't know, destroy any potential credibility I have with you by showing you the actual garbage that I come up with, but we'll see. I don't mind getting a little vulnerable here. Maybe you'll even have some advice and help me out, but let's take a look. And again, these are probably from 3 or 4 weeks ago now. Both of them went 1 and 2, which is kind of disappointing, but the second one will make sense, I think. We'll get into that as we get there. So yeah, I will take a moment to lay out the first deck here, and then we can talk about it. All right. So here is the first deck. It's pretty much just Jund stuff. My main idea was to try and run as many inexpensive spells as I could, and about as much removal as I could, with some crime payoffs like Vadmir and Gisa, and a little synergy here between Bristly Bill and the Gitrog. But I don't know. There were times where it did really come together. I guess I was feeling like it came short in terms of protection for my creatures. Like, I don't think the Gitrog got to attack like even once, because every time I played it, it just got removed immediately. I know one of the decks I played against had seemingly like every enchantment that exiles a creature or permanent. So, with my opponents being able to manage my board so effectively, I really struggled to get a foothold. And I'll show you what I have in the sideboard as well. I was briefly considering running Pitiless Carnage. I did also have a Roxanne, but I really felt that I shouldn't be running too many high-costed creatures, so I thought maybe I should only pick two between Gisa, Gitrog, and Roxanne. Maybe I should have been running Roxanne instead. I definitely should have run the second Snakeskin Veil. So yeah, that is how that deck turned out. Like I said, a little disappointing, but still had a lot of fun. And then the next deck, I'm not gonna dwell on too long, but yeah, this one also went 1 and 2. So yeah, let me lay this out for you. This is the product of a 10-person draft pod. That's just how many players showed up to draft at my LGS that day and can't really split that pod, so we just kind of ran it. And I would say that I fully train wrecked this deck. I really struggled with reading any type of signal. I wouldn't even say that I settled on a color that I was definitely in at any point in the draft. I just tried my best to take what I thought the best card in the pack was, and hoping to find what was open, or establish a color direction from there, but it truly never really came together for me. I would try and commit to a color, but then it would immediately dry up, so I would go in another direction, but that wouldn't work. It was just a mess, honestly, but here's what I ended up with. Mostly blue-red, with a tiny bit of white and a tiny bit of green. Mostly because I didn't have quite enough playables in just blue-red. When this deck came together, it actually wasn't too bad. My plan here was yet again to just run as many cheap things as I could and try and live long enough that I could take someone down with a flyer or be able to cast enough spells so that I could get through with Razzle Dazzlers. And I think that was really when the deck was at its best. Oftentimes players didn't really see Razzle Dazzler as a threat. They were really gunning for Jolene or the Steed, which isn't wrong, but it did kind of mean that the Razzle Dazzlers got left alone a lot of the time, which is when they got most dangerous. But yeah, the 2 slick sequences were really good in here. The gem was really good, but sometimes did not come together super well, predictably. And I'll quickly show you the sideboard. I really tried to make a run at green, but it dried up pretty quickly, and I really didn't feel that I got deep enough to be able to run it. And yeah, every single piece of blue and red is being run. Really tough to get even enough playables. I didn't really incur mana issues though, which I was pleasantly surprised at. Even with the double splash and not that much fixing. The gold pan obviously was pretty crucial here, and some of the deserts, but yeah. Don't really feel like you need to weigh in on this deck. I am fully aware that it is a train wreck, and anyway, let me know how your draft decks have been down in the comments. And let me know if you would like me to continue showing some draft decks like this in the future. Well, hopefully not quite like this. But that will do it for today. I will lay out our play booster one more time if you would like to take a look, so you can comment with your pack 1 pick 1. Let me know if we're aligned on Calamity, or if there is something else that you would take instead. And if you enjoyed this video, I would so appreciate if you would hit that thumbs up button, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll be back with new Magic the Gathering ASMR videos every Monday and Friday. A huge thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. Your support means the world to me. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.